Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. My name is Sam. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a story about a crazy client. The last client story time video I did blew up. You guys wanted to see more. I do want to reiterate though that I'm sharing these stories for entertainment purposes, okay? When I'm at my job and I am interacting with people, I always keep it 100% professional. Even if someone is acting crazy, I always keep my composure. If I'm being like all over the place and like acting rude in these videos, it's because this is after the fact. I'm telling a story. I am emphasizing and exaggerating some of my reactions because that's what you do when you tell a story. You get into it, okay? Just because I'm on camera saying that someone is such a bitch doesn't mean I was calling them a bitch to their face, okay? So please, calm down, relax. Some people in the last video were like, you are so rude. Today's story, this actually took place about a year ago. I was only a few months out of beauty school. This was my first salon job, my first hairstylist position. And at that salon, we would get walk-ins pretty regularly. And whoever happened to be available and could squeeze the person in would take the walk-in. So on this day, I was supposed to have a mani-pedi scheduled at, I think it was 11 o'clock in the morning. So at maybe 10:40, this woman walks in with her baby and she wants a haircut for her child. The baby was like a year old, almost a year, or like a little over a year. I don't really remember. Now, all of the other stylists were currently with clients already. And I'm gonna be totally honest, I'm not the best with kids' cuts. I don't have any children of my own. I'm kind of awkward around kids. Like, I'm just not. Some people are naturally so good with them. I'm not one of those people. It's not that I don't like them. I don't know. I don't know how to talk to them. Like, I don't know. And also, most kids, I have had some that will sit still and they're great, but most kids, they're either scared to get their hair cut or they just don't want to do it. And so they're moving around a lot, or they're crying, or they're putting their hands up. They're trying to grab for the scissors. And it can be a very hectic situation. It's a little scary. But because of that, every experience that I have had with children, except for this story that I'm about to tell you, the parents are always super understanding. They're really easygoing and they're just like, hey, please, like, whatever you can do. I know that, you know, their cut's not necessarily going to be perfect. I just don't want hair in their face anymore. So anyway, the point is, I'm thinking this is going to be a super quick, easy, no problem, boom, out the door, great. The woman comes over, she sits in the chair, she holds the baby, because, I mean, the baby's little. I don't even think she could sit up by herself. It's, you know, it's not like she could sit on a little booster seat thing. Like, she needed to be held. And her hair, like, some babies are born with a full freaking head of hair and whatever, but this baby, like, she barely had any hair. She was kind of bald-ish up on top, and then she just had a little bit along the perimeter and mostly in the back where she just had like these long wispies. But she did have pieces where I saw it was kind of getting long a little in her face and it just looked, you know, whatever. So I'm thinking, no problem. I just have to go around and just, you know, trim up those long wispy pieces. No big deal, right? So she's explaining to me like, yeah, she has these long wispy pieces. I just want you to cut that off. And then in the front, I don't want hair like in her face, so maybe give her like some bangs or something. So I'm like, sure, great, no problem. And the baby is really great. Like, at the very beginning, she was sitting still for the most part. She didn't really seem to care. She wasn't scared. She didn't really know what, like, she did not give a shit. So I'm like, this is amazing. This is gonna be so easy and so great. Wow. So I go around and I just, you know, I clean up where it's long and, you know, make sure there's no hair in her face. Done. 2 seconds. So the mom's like, could you give her more of like a side bang? Can you make them more feminine? Because she's a little girl, but like everyone always thinks that she's a boy. And she's not a boy. Like, I want her to look like a girl. And I try to put bows on her and stuff, and she just doesn't like to have them on, so she always pulls them off. So she needs like a more feminine haircut so that people will look at her and know she's a girl. So when you're doing short haircuts, like pixie cuts, yeah, there's a more feminine way to do a haircut and there's a more masculine way. But that's on like, you know, an adult person who has a full head of hair. This is a little baby who has like 4 hairs. Like, she's practically bald. Like, the only little bit of hair she has is like super, super, super fine, thin, like peach fuzz. Like she barely has anything to work with. Her hair is not finished growing in. And of course, shortly after she's telling me how everyone thinks her baby is a boy, one of my coworkers comes over, and this baby she was beautiful, by the way, like such a pretty little girl. My coworker comes over and goes, "Oh, he's so cute. How old is he?" And the look on this woman's face, oh my God, she looked so pissed. And it was just really funny timing. Like it was almost as if he had heard the conversation and came over and said that just to be an asshole, but he really didn't, I swear. Like he was just totally genuine, but it was just like the timing was amazing. So I go and I'm, trying to give her a little bit more of like an angled look in the front. She, again, didn't really have any hair to work with, but where it was the fullest, which wasn't even full, but was right up top where her bangs were. So there was a little bit to work with. So I was like, okay, sure, I can make it, angled. So I'm doing a little side bang. And then she's like, "Can you make it like more feminine?" Like she just kept saying that. "More feminine. I want her to look like a girl." She's a baby. Like she's a year old. Like relax. It really isn't that big of a deal. Like, does it really truly matter that much if someone mistakes your baby for the wrong gender? Like, who cares? She's a baby. She can't even talk yet. And if you're really that worried about it, just put her in a super girly outfit. Like put her in all pink or something. Like what do you want me to tell you? Like I'm not a freaking magician. Like there's only so much I can do with your baby's hair. Like, do you want me to put a freaking wig on her? Like I don't understand what you think I can do to help this situation. But of course I'm not saying that to this woman. I'm just very like, sure, no problem. But keep in mind, at this point, I'm feeling kind of nervous because A, I am fresh out of beauty school. B, I'm not great with kids cuts. C, I have a client coming very shortly. So now at this point, we're already like at least 10 minutes into doing this haircut. So keep in mind, my next appointment is in 10 minutes at 11 o'clock. So like, sure, I can go and just kind of point cut it a little bit. So I go and I try to point cut a little bit and kind of soften it up, whatever, like texturize her bang area as much as I can. She has barely any freaking hair. It's all peach fuzz. It can't really get much softer than that, but okay, sure. And she's still just like not really happy with it. She still doesn't think she looks feminine enough. So my coworker, the one who had just complimented the baby by saying he is so cute, I'm like, "Eddie, do you think that you could maybe help me out a little bit? I'm not afraid to ask another stylist to help me if I feel like I'm struggling or, I don't really know what to do." So he comes over and he starts doing the exact same thing that I was doing, point cutting the bangs. She's still not really happy. Now at this point, the baby is getting irritated. She was sitting so well at the very beginning, but now she's starting to kind of fuss and tilt her head and pull away, and she's not into it anymore. Now 2 people have attempted to feminize this baby's haircut, and the mom's still not happy. So then my boss sees that we're all kind of struggling, and she steps away from her client for a second and comes over and is like, "Oh, well, what's going on? What's the problem here? Let me help out." Still, the mom is not happy. And so my boss now is like, "Well, there's not really anything else we can do. Like, she barely has any hair. She is a baby. And if we keep trying to cut into these bangs and texturize them, she's not going to have any hair left. So, I mean, this is kind of the best that can be done for now. And then you just have to wait a few more months until her hair starts to grow in more and is fuller, and then you'll have more to work with." So I don't know, like she just didn't really seem to understand, I guess, and like she was clearly frustrated. And I mean, I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, I don't understand what is so difficult to comprehend about that. Like if you have a baby who barely has any hair at all, like I'm wondering what it was that she was envisioning in her head, like what she wanted her baby's haircut to look like. And again, this is a baby. She's gonna be laying down and her hair's gonna be a freaking mess majority of the time anyway. So now, after all of this has happened, and my coworker and my boss have stepped in, we have now gone over the time of my next appointment. So now I'm running like 10 minutes late at least. Now, I'm gonna look bad and I'm gonna have to deal with someone else being unhappy because I'm running late for their appointment, and it's also like throwing my whole day off, because now for the whole rest of the day I'm going to be like, you know, 10 or 15 minutes at least behind on everyone. And it's like, come on, like I should not have needed more than 20 minutes to do this baby's haircut. And while we were cutting the baby's hair, you know, we were spraying it a little bit with our spray bottles and stuff. So she's like, can you just like dry it a little bit? Like, okay, yes, you know, I'll do that. But I'm also in the back of my mind, like, can we wrap this up a little bit? Because I have my next person waiting. And I think I even had mentioned at some point to her, like, I do have a client waiting. So I just take the blow dryer on low heat and I just kind of very gently, she, again, barely had any hair for the 200th time. So, okay, good. She's dry now. Now she can go and leave. No. She points out there's like a piece in the back that kind of has like a little bit of a wave to it. The mom looked like she had curly hair naturally. So it could just be that the baby is going to have like curly or wavy hair. And so in the back, her like more adult, like permanent hair was starting to grow in with like her true texture. So she's like, can you do something? Can you like smooth that down a little bit? So I spray it with my spray bottle just in that one little spot and I just hold it. I'm not gonna like, she again had no freaking hair, so I couldn't take like a brush to it because that would probably hurt her scalp. So I just take my fingers and I just kind of pull it a little bit gently, but just to kind of keep it a little taut, and I just blow dry it to kind of smooth down that little bit of a wave. And she's sitting there like rubbing it like, oh, why is it like that? Can you, oh, I guess it's just like her waves. She's probably gonna have wavy hair, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's most likely what it is. I mean, there's not really too much else we can do about that. Again, she's a baby and she's probably gonna go take her nap now after this and lay down on the back of her head. Like, so I'm just thinking to myself, like, do you want me to flat iron her? Like, she just wouldn't let that go. Like, she's just, what can we do about this? I'm not gonna put product in your 1-year-old's hair. I'm not going to flat iron your 1-year-old's hair. Like, what is wrong with this woman? Then after that, she finally was just like, okay, yeah, this is good, whatever. She did seem annoyed and kind of frustrated, but lady, like, I'm sorry, what do you want us to do? And it's not even like it's just me and I'm incompetent and I'm incapable. Like, the owner came over, another stylist came over, like, nothing else can be done about this. Go to Target and buy some pink baby clothes. Like, what do you want me to tell you? In total, from the time she came in, sat down, and then finally left, it was like 40 minutes. No lie. 40 minutes to do a 1-year-old baby's haircut who has like 4 hairs on her head. Yep. So yeah, that is my story about the crazy mom. Again, I just like to share these stories for my fellow hairstylists and those who are maybe still in cosmetology school or are thinking about becoming a hairstylist. Just know that you are going to have negative experiences sometimes. You're going to have clients that maybe just don't see eye to eye to you, that maybe just don't like you for whatever reason, that maybe you mess up their hair or they just have unrealistic expectations or whatever the case may be. It happens to all of us. So don't feel like you're alone. Don't feel like you suck or that you should change careers. Learn from these experiences. That's what's ultimately going to make you a better hairstylist. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe before you go. Feel free to also go follow me over on Instagram at @styledbysamthay if you want to see my work and some of like my hair posts. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.